Welcome to another episode of the Dent Digest live show. What's up, Manny?
What's up, Ryan? I didn't bring my hat today, man, so I'm just trying to comb these little hairs, you know?
You came to work with no hat? That just totally throws you off the game.
It does. It really
totally.
does.
Like, I've learned I keep an extra hat in my truck and an extra hat at the shop just because if I don't have my hat,
it's
not right.
It's off. Yeah, you're right, man. What's up, Brian? How are you?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, man. Honestly, just I don't want to say tired, but working on that edge and just excited. MTE next month. Trying to close out the year. I don't know if you're like me, but like on my mobile tech, it's like back in the days at the body shop, you know, as an estimator, you're watching your numbers and you're pushing every week, you're pushing every day, you're pushing every month. So I feel like December is that last stretch to make your numbers right, you know?
You know what my December does?
What's that? Oh, because you're on the east side. Yeah.
Usually my Decembers are just not my best month. But we had a really, really good November, better than most years. So
yeah,
hey.
I'm just trying to finish that last stretch, you know, but it's good, man. Still a lot of work coming in, you know, but definitely excited for MTE next month. So
I'm ready. And it was weird because I have a detailer friend that sends me a lot of work. We do a lot of work together, and he's a military vet that just got out of the military, and he does really well. And he's like, "What do you think about MTE?" And I was like, "Bro, it's freaking awesome." Like, he's like, "I'm thinking about going." And I was like, no, you need to go.
Yeah. I saw a detailer over the weekend too. And I'm like, hey man, he's like, oh yeah, I've been to MTE. I said, you going this year? He's like, yeah, I'm going. I was like, dude, that's so cool, man. Shout out to everyone in the house.
Christina at Ansett said she thinks it's going to be the biggest one yet because they just opened all the international travel.
Yep.
So there's no international travel restrictions right now.
Yep.
And there's a lot of people like me that haven't been since 2019. So
yeah, well, not just that, but I think it's anxious, you know, to just start doing like their normal things, you know, going
free
out
hugs.
to places and free hugs, you know. I think it's gonna be awesome, man. I can't wait.
How about that Black Friday show?
Oh, that was good.
Wow. That was
a great show. I hope all the tool manufacturers got some leads.
They did well. I called all of them. All of them said they did really, really well. So
that's awesome, man.
It's nice to see that guys are spending some money, and everybody wanted the deal. You know what I mean? They wanted the deal, and I get it. I'll tell you a funny story.
What's that?
So I ordered some stuff from Kiko.
Okay.
I get a package. It comes in a box. I didn't order that much. It's like tabs and some suction cups and some, 2 things of glue. Nothing crazy. And the box comes. I'm like, man, this thing is heavy. I'm like, they must have hooked me up, right? They must have hooked me up. Open the box, and it's some lady from Minnesota's order in my box. And it was like a ton. I'm not saying the name because they may watch the show. I don't know the name, but there was a ton of
good
Dent
stuff.
Reaper glue tabs in there and some tips. And I was like, should I even call them and tell them I got the wrong order? Because this is way more stuff than I ordered. So, man, I reached out and we mailed it back today. So I was like, I gotta get this back. I gotta get this back in there because it may be going for somebody for Christmas.
You're good. You're a good man, Ryan. I think you're going to heaven.
Maybe. So we got a little bit of business to talk about here. Quite a few people in here. So we got
thanks everyone for joining.
People in our industry that are really struggling. And I think that we all should kind of do something for them.
Absolutely.
Help them forward. And I don't know if you've seen Robert Castillo has been going through some medical issues and having a hard time walking.
Yeah, I saw that.
And he has a long road ahead. They don't quite know exactly what's wrong with him, so they're doing test after test after test. The
Wow.
biggest problem with it is he doesn't have health insurance.
Oh man.
So the family's struggling. I spoke to Christina at Anson today. She gave me a ring and wanted to see if I could help spread the word. What they're looking to do is to get a Christmas card, and if you guys can put a Visa gift card in there.
Yeah.
She said cash, but I don't know who mails cash anymore. And mail it to Anson PDR. And
Yeah.
what they'll do is they will distribute it to them. The other person that is down is Biggs, one of Anson's truck, one of their drivers, one of their tool drivers.
Yeah.
Had prostate cancer.
Oh man.
He's another guy if you've ever met Biggs, Biggs is a go.
Yeah.
He doesn't stop. He's just one of those guys that just keep going. Big heart, amazing person. And he's having a hard time financially because he can't work.
Yeah.
So out of both of those two, if you guys could put a gift card and a Christmas card, and I think it would, she's like, I think it would really kind of get their spirits up. They're both kind of down. Next week, Christina's going to come on the show and kind of go through all the details.
Okay.
But I wanted to at least get it out there and try to see if we can get, some cards down there for those guys. I know it's last minute and, people's finances are tight, but these guys do a lot for our industry and are really good people. So, if we could get something together and get them out to Christina at Anson, you can find their address on any one of their pages.
Yeah.
So, just let's do some good, guys.
Yeah, no, and I think it's definitely the season, and like you said, if you could spare some cash, a gift card, or just
$10 is $10.
Or a quick, a quick just card, just wishing them well, and
what was really hard was he's got some
I'm sure that would mean a lot,
He's got some grandbabies and Biggs family. They've come to realization that the medical bills are really stacking up and that they weren't going to have Christmas this year.
Oh,
so it was kind of hit me a little hard there. I was just kind of like, man, that sucks, So
the thing is that if you know Robert, man, he's a giver, man. He's he shows love,
Yeah.
He really shows love, and he loves the community. I mean, so anything that we could do, anyone watching the show, if you any way possible that you could support, I could only imagine, what it would mean to him,
Yeah.
And I mean, let's not go too far. Let's put ourselves in that situation.
100%. You got to stand by the people that stand around you. You know what I mean? That support the industry and support you. Either one of those guys you could have 3-hour conversation with tomorrow and not miss a beat. So, but that's one big thing, if anybody can put stuff together, just like I said, nothing crazy. She said cash or gift cards.
Yeah.
She thinks it would really help them kind of get their spirits up.
Absolutely.
At Christmas. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that, Ryan.
100%. It was Christina. And like I said, next week she's going to pop on and go over some details with you guys, but let's try to get those guys some cards, man.
Absolutely.
If we can do one thing for this show, I know we can't get many people to share it. So, let's at least get the gift cards. I'm not worried about the shares.
Yeah.
But I got 2 tools I want to bring on. I got a Black Friday tool. I got this today. I'm excited about this.
Oh, look at that.
You know
what's going to happen, right?
What? You're not going to get another bad stretch dent.
You're not going to get a stretch dent.
And I should have bought this 2 years ago because I am so tired of having some terrible stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, they come one after the other, but time to time you won't get any.
So I officially found a match made in heaven tool set. Okay.
Match made in heaven.
Bro, and I use this. I had 2 bad fenders and a smash bedside underneath the taillight of a Silverado. So you know what I'm talking about. That little piece of metal gets smashed in. bro. This thing with this tip, game over.
You got something going on right there.
Game over.
Yep.
The Dent Reaper tip with
Yep.
the Jaybird from Excalibur.
Yep.
Bro. And this is not expensive, guys. Like, this tool is $150.
Yeah, that's a really good price for that.
$199, but I said to Mikey, I said, Mike, come over here. He's like, what's that? I said, fix this dent. He's like, what do you mean? And this was already up in the well. It was a busted fender on a Nissan Altima. You know, it's got that wide flat with the hard body line, and it was really low underneath the body line. I said, fix the dent. He's like, man, you got so much control with this. You know, Mikey's gentle because he was a body guy. Yeah. And he's like pushing. Obviously, he's probably not seeing exactly what he was doing. But he's like, there takes nothing to push the dent out. And then I used it on the bed in that little piece underneath the taillight. And I usually use a dent dial. Yeah. I had so much more control with this.
Yeah. I love that tool for that area. It's like the go-to tool.
This setup, Dent Reaper, Excalibur, A1, killed it. If you guys don't have this, I'm telling you right now, this is in some of my top tools for 2022.
Yeah. That's a good setup right there.
So it's sick. But I want to get our guest on. I'm excited about this one.
Let's do it.
And I don't know if you guys have heard of this guy. I've seen his stuff for a little while. But let's get him on. Let's have some good conversations. We were talking. I was like, hold up. We've got to stop this conversation because I want to save it for the show. So
I can't wait to hear his story.
What's up, Rick?
Hey, what's going on, guys? How you doing?
There he is. What's up, Rick? How are you, bro?
I am good, Manny. How about you?
I'm doing good.
Good, man. Yeah. Ryan?
So where are you from? How long you been pushing?
Yeah, man. Tell us a little bit about you.
I started, let's see. I started my business legally, I guess, in beginning of 2016.
Okay.
Originally, before that, I originally trained for 2 weeks with Ding King out in California.
Okay.
Came back, started my business. Obviously, I had no business, but I was getting the legal part going, trying to move forward with things. So I've been pushing since 2016, but I've only been pushing full time for a year and a half.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
So for the rest of that time, from when I went training and all that stuff and in between up until a year and a half ago, I actually worked full time for the railroad.
Oh.
And so this was basically kind of in a way a hobby, if you would. As time went on, I knew this is what I wanted to do. I was going, more and more forward with it, pushing through. It got to a point where I was like, I got to figure it out kind of a thing, I got to get out of the railroad. I want to do this dent thing full time.
How long have you been working for the railroad?
So when I left the railroad, I had 13 years in.
No way.
And it was, to be honest, it's a toxic environment. It's like the worst thing ever.
Really?
Oh yeah, dude. Well, and I live in northern Wisconsin, Superior, Wisconsin. So like winter times right now, it's not so bad right now, but I mean, there's times I was outside for 10 to 12 hours in -30, -40 degree weather,
Wow.
holding on metal rail cars, whatever.
How'd you get into the railroad, if you don't mind me asking?
So it was kind of in the family. My dad was in that, my brother. And I was actually living out in Vail, Colorado for a short time. I came home. My grandparents had gotten in a car accident, so I came home. Long story short, I ended up staying longer than I thought. needed a job, needed benefits. So I was like, well, this will work till I go back out to Vail. That never happened. And my family owns my uncle and cousin own a body shop here.
Okay.
And so I spent a lot of time with them, very close with them. And they're the ones that kind of told me about PDR. There was actually a few guys that came into the shop one year when we did have hail. It's been probably 15 years ago or something like that. And I just found it interesting, but I invested in with my uncle and my cousin. They wanted to expand the shop. So I've invested into the property with them. Nice. And basically they were going to keep, grow the body shop. And as an added service, I was going to go out and get trained and start to do the PDR.
Nice.
So obviously that was a lot of work in between there. Yeah. But it basically got to the point where I had a lot of seniority on the railroad, so I could have worked a day job, but I chose to work the midnight shift. I'd go into work at basically midnight every single night. I'd work my 10 to 12 hour shift. So I was working till 10 a.m. noon sometimes. Wow. And as soon as I got done with work, I had my truck packed full of my tools and I was gone, man. I was hitting my wholesale lots. I was going to the few body shops that I had, or, at the beginning, I'd have a retail job, kind of come in here and there. And I would work until 5, 6 o'clock at night. And if it was something that I was struggling with, I'd work till I got it finished. And then I'd go home. I always tried to eat dinner with my wife and now my baby daughter. And it was like dinner time, shower, go to bed, sleep 2 hours, get up and go back to work. And
talk about putting in work.
Oh, dude, it was, to be honest, it was like miserable, but I really wanted to push dents. I wanted to do PDR and, and a lot of that is just getting to know, guys that were already in and a part of this amazing industry that we're a part of. Like, I feel so blessed to be a part of what this industry is. The brotherhood, the support, everybody's looking out for each other. I mean, honestly, guys, like at the railroad, you're a union, whatever, brotherhood. Doesn't even come close to what we have here. Like, everybody's for themselves there. Like, I've never seen such a thing. So it was like, once I got a feel for it and what it was all about, I was like, this is what I got to have. So at that point, it was, I'm going to do what I have to do.
Passion.
And so for quite a while, it was, like I said, starting in 2016. And for many years, I chose that midnight job every night, did my dents during the day, just trying to build up, my reputation, getting customers, building up my body shops, and just trying to build up the business so I could step out and do this full time. That was my plan. And then, so, I guess to backtrack a little bit, I did my training and I always I watched videos and of all these people doing this work, and it's like, holy crap, this is like, how are they doing that? I was getting frustrated with small dents and trying to figure it out. I'm like, I don't get it, and so long story short, I did some research and through that I found, what's the Dent Trainer with Mike Toledo and John Hiley.
Yep.
I found that, so instantly bought a year subscription on that, watched like every video, some of them multiple times. I'm like, all right, this will get me somewhere. And I did. I was like, there was tools I've never seen before. I'm like, oh, I got to get these interchangeable tip tools, and I got it. that's how they're fixing bigger dents. And so I started doing that. And while doing that, it was, you know, I found myself really enjoying the way that John Hiley, in his tutorials and whatnot, how he explained it, how he showed it. And obviously I was trained with fog. So, that was a huge selling point too. But, I reached out to John, and he was in Ohio at the time, and, talked to him a little bit, and I said, hey, you know, I'd really enjoy to come and train with you. I need to, you know, I just need to get my skills. I got to know what I'm doing wrong. I want someone to just watch over my shoulder, show me what I'm doing wrong, and just show me how I can move forward faster. I need to get out of what I'm doing and do this.
Yeah.
So I set up a training with him, trained for a week, one-on-one with him, completely turned things around. I left there feeling like I was on fire, you know. I was like, called my wife. I left there. I drove, you know, and I called my wife, and I'm like, this is it. Like, I'm pumped, you know, like I can do this now.
It's happening.
Nothing's stopping me.
Yeah.
And, you know, so I get home, and now I'm really pushing, you know, I'm going to body shops, dealerships. I'm walking in, random businesses, you know, just like, hey, you know, anybody that needs dent repair, or, you know, do you have somebody? And that actually turned out really good. Like, that started to bring in quite a bit of business that way. And so I was doing that, and then John Hiley reached out, told me about one of the MME events that they were doing down at Anson. And that was, I think that was 2018. So I was like, yeah, you know,
now, how was your wife throughout this whole process? Was she supportive? Was she scared? Was she?
Dude, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't even be talking to you guys right now, honestly. Yeah. Like I said at the beginning, I'd go, you know, I thought I knew how to fix a dent or whatever from my training, and so I'm going out there, and I'm spending way too long on a nickel-sized dent, you know, just trying to glass this thing out, and I have no idea, you know, trying to figure it out. I don't know how many times I came home throughout, you know, the first year or so, and I'm like, that's it. I quit. I can't do this. You know, just frustrated. And she was the one that always supported me. She's like, you got this, you know, you can do this. Just take a deep breath. She knows who I am. You know, I can be very stubborn, and you know, things can bother me real quick and easily. But she's always supported me, always said, you got this, keep going, keep pushing for it. So without her, yeah, I wouldn't be here talking right now.
That's awesome.
So
that's
awesome.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing. I think when you're leaving a profession, okay, you're making money, you have a union job. A lot of guys, like here, we have the port. Everybody wants to get in the port. There's a waiting list. It's a lot of railroad here. A lot of guys want to get in the railroad here.
Yeah.
And you've got a good job there.
Yep.
And then you're like, hey, I want to learn how to do this dent thing. And then you're out there and you're struggling, trying to fix a tiny little dent. And you see Bryce Kelly fixing a bedside that's hit by a truck. You're like, how the hell is he doing this?
Yeah.
But if you don't have that little bit of support, it's really hard.
Yeah.
Seriously. Without, and I think with anything in life, like, you really can't make anything great on your own. You have to have support from people. You have to have people, you have to have just a good team around you, you know, for anything. Obviously at the end of the day, it's you that's got to make things happen and push forward, but having that support is, you can't do anything without it.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah, so in the railroad, you know, as far as you talk like pay, benefits, retirement, that kind of stuff, great job. But I was miserable there every single night. I felt like I was walking into prison every single night I went there. You know, it just is like, I don't know if I can do this another day, you know, like it. And the attitudes of people there were, everybody was just, their morale was just beat down. You know, you could go in happy as ever, and within minutes, like the life sucked out of you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then like I went to that MME thing at Anson, and that was so cool, and that was a huge turning point for me. It was crazy. Like I met so many awesome people there, and people that are just great friends today. I met Q's Dent Repair.
Oh yeah.
Don Kavanaugh was down there. Kobe LeBlanc. John Scotto. I'm forgetting a lot of people, but I'm like, that was huge for me to talk to these guys, to get their input, hear their stories, and there again, these guys are supporting me, like, no, you can do this, and so I walked away from that. Again, like I felt like I just walked up another level, and so there, I'm just feeling like unstoppable at this point. And that was April. Came home a couple months, and now I'm pushing hard. Like I'm doing all this stuff that they taught me. Like I'm not good with technology at all. I'm trying to figure out how to put a Facebook page up. I'm trying to figure out how to make a website. Stressing myself right out. So that was, that's 2018, beginning of July 2018. I get like super sick. Like my guts hurt. I'm like losing weight. I can't, like, I'm struggling to like even. It got to the point where I couldn't go to work. I took 2 weeks of vacation just to stay home, and I'm stubborn. So I'm like, whatever it is, this is gonna go away. I'm gonna beat this. I'm good. I was way wrong, and there again, if it wasn't for my wife, I don't know what would have happened or where I'd be. But I mean, it got to the point where, I was in our bedroom, and crying like a little baby. I'm in so much pain. And she's like, that's it. We're going, we're going in. And, to shorten up that story, I ended up getting hospitalized for a week.
Wow.
They did all these tests. I got diagnosed with a autoimmune disease called ulcerative colitis, which attacks the colon. In 2 weeks, I lost over 40 pounds. And the doctors would come in, they're like, you can't eat this, you can't do this, you can't do this. Like my life was just like, close it in. I'm like, it changed my life. I went like straight into depression. I was sitting in my hospital bed telling my wife, I'm like, I got to leave the railroad. I'm never going to be able to push dents again. Like I'm going to have to be sitting in a cubicle office job, because I'm going to have to like do all these certain things. Like I just totally went off, I didn't know what to think, to be honest. Like I just thought, okay, my life as I know it is done. I got to start over. And so then it was like figuring out medications and this and that, and trying to get better. Almost. So I guess before this, like all this time before that, my wife was my fiance at that time, and our wedding was coming up October of 2018, and I almost missed that. Like we almost had to cancel it because I was still sick. Like this went on I got better, but they're trying medications and all this stuff. I got to the point where when I finally got home, like I remember ripping all my decals and everything off my truck. I'm like, I'm done. I can't do this. I didn't want anybody calling me. I didn't want to see people. I was just done. Wow. And my wife was even like, I can't believe you just tore, you just like ended your business on your truck. It's all gone. I'm like, I can't deal with it right now,
Yeah.
So we did make our wedding. That was a huge step. Really focused on getting healthy, figuring out what I had to do food-wise, and just taking care of myself, because obviously sleeping 2 hours a day for 4 years or whatever, if I was in the middle of a job, sometimes I forgot to eat or drink, like I just was so zoned out on doing this.
Yeah.
And then it was again, like Don Kavanaugh, Q, Kobe, and these guys, they kept calling me. They would reach out all the time. What's going on, man? How you doing? Like always. And it was so awesome. I'm like, once I started feeling better, I talked to those guys, I got back into it more. I never quit pushing, but like during that time I was sick, I obviously I wasn't, but I never got rid of that stuff. So now like I was faced with another problem, like, okay, now I have this disease and I want to leave the railroad and go out on my own, and I need benefits. Because basically this, like what I have is, I have to take every 2 months I go in, they hook me up to an IV and they pump a drug into me. So every 8 weeks I go in and do this supposedly for the rest of my life. And every time I do that, it's $14,700. So there again, they're like, I was starting to climb that ladder. I was feeling good, and it's like just keep knocking down. So I'm like, I gotta have benefits. My wife, through her work, had benefits, but at the time they wouldn't cover most of the drug, or I can't remember what it was. We would have still had to pay it, I don't know, $5 or $6 grand out of pocket every time, and it's like that's not feasible.
Yeah.
So then down the road, I kept pushing, kept getting better, and I get more into it. I just like, all right, I'm going to just keep pushing and doing the railroad thing and see what happens. I want to keep doing it. And so then we get to a point in the road where we decided that, we were going to build a house. And so we started doing that. I was out at John Scotto's meetup in Boston, 2020, right before they shut the country down. We're all out there, and we flew back, and it was like the day after they just closed the country. But I got back home, and there again, now I'm like back up the ladder, and I'm like pumped. I talked to all these guys. That's where I actually like met John Vadine, even though he's done by Q and Don, 2 hours away. Matt Armio, like I said, so many good guys. And there again, the conversation, the support from those guys pushed me forward again. So I get home, I'm pumped. I'm like, I'm finding a way to do this. And I'm going to tell them, getting excited, tell my wife like all this stuff, and from the trip. And she's like, well, just hang on a second. I got to tell, so she told me that she was pregnant. And so like now we're in the middle of like, we're starting to build a house. I'm trying to get out of the railroad. We got a little one on the way, and I'm excited, but I'm at the same time like, what do I do now? Where do I go? But anyway, so we build the house. Our daughter is born halfway through that process. And things get crazy, but my daughter was like the biggest blessing to me, because in the railroad, when you have a child, you have within a year of the birth, you get 3 months of paternity leave, non-paid, but you get 3 months that you can take at whatever point from that year. She was born November 8th of 20. And so I saved my paternity leave for the summer. I wanted to spend the summer, and I told my wife, we had found out that my wife's business, they switched over to a new drug carrier cover, and they would cover this drug. So that was like, all right, there was a good sign. And so I told my wife, I said, I'm saving paternity for summer. Starting June, I'm taking all 3 months off, and then I'm using all my vacation at the end of that. And I'm going to push myself. I'm going to push this business. And if it works, like, this is my chance to make it work. Like a month into it, my wife's like, you can't go back. You can't go back to work. You know, like business was good. We had a light hailstorm. Q came up and helped me out, and he taught me so much too, like just with the storm, pushing, blending certain things. He's been such a huge help to me. I have so much respect for him, and I owe him a lot. But he came up, helped me. There again, like these places that I've gone, you know, teaching how to get business or whatnot, get customers coming in. I put that all in. And it was like that summer, I don't think there was a day that I didn't have work. It was scheduling out 2 to 3 weeks, you know, and then we got that hail. We were pushed out, and I was like, yeah, I'm there's no way I could go back either. It had to be either one or the other. And I was like,
Yeah,
that's it.
And I'm sure you were different at home. You know what I mean? You were more, because you were passionate about it and you felt better. That's why she probably was like, you can't go back because you're so much better of a person.
yeah.
Dude, you nailed it too. You nailed it. Like I was always on edge, you know, I was crabby, tired, you know, I felt like a zombie half the time. Like I was at home every night having dinner with my family, which before I never could do that really. I was there to make breakfast in the morning, you know, and especially after the little one, like I didn't want to miss anything. I didn't want to miss, you know, I would have missed holidays, birthdays.
Yeah.
You know, that's just the way the railroad is. And I didn't want to do that. Like, I truly believe like she was just a blessing. Like it was like heaven sent, you know, like she was my out. She was my out, you know, like it all just kind of fell into place at the right time and for whatever reason. But I walked into work after all my vacation time and stuff was up. Dude, I went in my locker, I grabbed everything. Like I had like all these dirty gloves and my boots and bibs like that don't even belong to the railroad. And I just grabbed everything. I walked upstairs, threw it on the lady's desk, and I'm like, I am done. She's like right now? I'm like, yeah, right now. You know, like give me the papers, I'm signing, I'm done. And I walked out of there, dude. It felt like I was walking out of a life sentence. I swear to God, like weight was off my shoulders. I felt like a free man. And ever since then, like business has been good. You know, I joined a mastermind group with Coach Corey and Gene. That was amazing. You know, learned a lot of neat stuff there. And there again, I honestly think one of the biggest things with our industry is these like tech meetups that the you know, Anson Open House, MTE, obviously, just going, talking with guys, just being around it. It's like you meet more and more people, you hear more and more stuff, and like business gets better and better. It's unbelievable what this industry has to offer, you know. And I'm grateful for it, honestly. It's so cool.
You know, it's so awesome that, you know, you got to go to all those places, because all those, you know, the industry puts these events together because they know what that could have meant to them, so they do these events to help others, you know. And there's so many excuses we could put, but if you were just to show up, you just never know what you could learn. And I feel like that's exactly what you did. You didn't, you just wanted to show up.
Yeah, he was a sponge. He was a sponge. You know what I mean? He was
sponge everything. Yeah.
It was kind of
know,
the best time for you. You know what I mean? Like you kind of got a little taste before you were even full time in business, and you kind of through all the bad stuff, you knew what you wanted to do, and that just kind of pushed you forward, which is nice to hear.
Yeah, and seriously, and that's what kept me going forward. Like I said, with so many guys reaching out when I was sick, or even before I was sick, you know, like the help. I could call any one of those guys, whether it was a dent, whether it was something to do with business. You know, everybody in this industry is so cool that it's just like they want to see everybody be the best they can be, see people succeed. there's no other industry like this. You're not going to
Yeah.
see like plumbers or contractors, dude. They're cutting each other's throats left and right, and they would never do what we do. It's like what we have, I guess, is kind of like a unicorn. It doesn't exist anywhere else. It's
Yeah.
so cool. But yeah, that's literally like the going to these events, meeting these people, whether it's training or just a get together, meeting new people. I love that. I love meeting new people and talking with them, hearing what they have to say. That you can never stop learning. You can never get enough
Absolutely.
information,
And
and everybody's circumstance or everybody's information, whatever it's business, actual pushing, doesn't matter. Like you can get so much out of it. And I just truly feel like my business has become what it is today because of everybody else's help around me.
And you had some rock stars in the beginning. I mean, Q, he's a fantastic guy that knows a lot.
Yes,
and he's
he
a
does.
genuine guy. I remember the first time, I mean, he called me out of the blue, we had a conversation. So I think it's the biggest thing is, for one, your influence in growing your business. You know what I mean? You had some really good people from go. And your passion is what kept you going. Your drive, your true, I want this, and whatever it takes, we're going to figure it out. And I think that's, and me and you had the conversation before. You really need to want to do this.
Yeah.
You do. Yeah. I mean, if you're in it for any other reason than wanting to do it or be here, you're never going to enjoy it. Just like anything. If you truly want something, and now that I've gone through all that and where I'm at, it's like I would go through all that BS again to be right here, right now. Like it's so worth it.
I think you could. What I see is seeing you as a mentor for like a lot of people. It's just, I mean, what you have gone through and how you have pushed yourself and to be where you're at. It's just it's an amazing story, and I think that it's a story that a lot of guys need to hear.
Yeah, and I don't know if I would necessarily be like a great mentor or not, but honestly, like anybody, I want to be the help that people were to me. So like if someone was in the same, that's watching, or someone that knows someone, they're doing the same thing, working the graveyard shift and trying to get into this career, or they were sick or whatever happened, like people can reach out to me anytime. Like I love talking to people, I love meeting people, and if I can help, I'd love to do that, because like I said, I've had so much help. It's like I would love to return the favor.
Of course.
Yeah.
Are you going to MTE?
You know it. Yeah, absolutely.
So the Dent Reaper is saying we need to buy you a beer. We won't regret it.
Oh yeah, there's we have some fun times. Yeah, we especially me and the Reaper there. We've had some fun, and I guess we have to get some beers in us first, and we'll see where the night goes from there.
That sounds like a bet to me. That sounds like a fun time.
Oh, dude, yeah, I'm pumped. I'm kind of mentally drained from this year. We had hail again. My biggest storm that I've ever had, not directly in my area, but it was like surrounding areas. But with my business, I'm mobile. I do work out of my garage, and I do have a family body shop, so we work out of there, but I service over 15 body shops.
Wow.
And I do have a few wholesale accounts. And so when it hails, like these guys are getting all these jobs on my body shops. So, I'd love to have like an actual shop, but I feel like I'd be shooting myself in the foot right now because it's just me. And I got to service these shops. I mean, I have probably an hour and a half distance, like circumference around me that I service, you know, helping these guys out, and that's the other thing too. Like when I was sick and all that, like I called all these guys. I'm like, hey, here's the deal. I'm down and out. I don't know when, if ever, I'm coming back. Every one of them waited for me. Every one of them, they're just true loyal. Like they weren't going to give the job to anybody else. They're like, when you're ready, we got work for you. You know,
That's cool.
Wow.
it was awesome. Yeah. Like we have such a good relationship. And that's huge to me. Like having that relationship with these guys where, you know, it doesn't matter who comes knocking on the door. They're, you know, Hammer's our guy. He's the one coming in. You know, we'll wait for him. And
You know what
that was huge.
You know what I love about hearing your story, Rick, is that it everything that happened and how it happened, it sounds like you just took it and you went after it. Like there was nothing going to stop you. You know, just like Krista said, you had a passion.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. And it's still like, I feel like as time goes on and business gets better, like that passion just grows and grows and grows. But I did, I don't know, you know, there's all these little things I added together, and I just, even though there was so much frustration and the down times and whatever, like whatever it was, there was some sort of passion and just the want to do this for whatever reason that, it did keep me moving forward. You know,
I feel like a lot of people, sometimes something happens and then they get stuck and then they start blaming these situations, and they almost like stop their own self from keep pushing forward.
100%.
You know, and it's just like that's what I mean about like how I love your story, because no matter what happened, you just had that passion to still keep moving forward. You know, and that perseverance that you know, it's look at you where you're at. You know,
right. And I mean, don't get me wrong. Like when I was sick and stuff like that, like, you know, it was in my mind there for a little bit, like this is over, you know, but it did come back through, and it's like, no, this was the goal. Like, this is what we're planning on still. And, you know, it was, like I said, it wasn't just me, like whatever, it was the people around me, again, the support, you know, people helping me one direction or the other, whether it was my wife supporting me when I was sick and, you know, telling me like, no, you got this, when I was, you know, come home pissed off or frustrated, or like I said, all the great dudes that I've mentioned that call me and what are you doing? How you doing? Can I help you? What do you need? You know, like that was huge. That, and that was like, that was what made me really love this industry and whatever. Is just, like I said, the brotherhood, the absolute like group of people is amazing.
Yeah. I hope people hear your story and get encouraged to reach out, because we always promote that here, that like, hey, if you ever, you know, need help with anything, reach out. You know, we're all here to help you. And we actually, Ryan does this show for that same reason, you know, just to
hold up. We do this show.
We do the show to help out others, you know, and just for people to hear someone else's story, and maybe it could motivate them, you know, to do things differently, or
I hope so,
and or find something that could help them, you know, keep moving forward. And you know, I hope people could listen to you and how reaching out, you know, got you through. And you know, no matter how many years you've been in the industry, like, you know, we're not perfect. You know, there's always room for improvement, and it's just like, but don't get stuck. Reach out.
Yeah,
you know?
and especially like starting out, that's to have the support when you're starting out. You know, whether you can reach that, you know, you can reach out to somebody, call somebody, you know, that's been in it for however long or whatever. If you're 6 months in, a year in, 2 years, whatever, that you can call, you know, any one of these people, it seems like, get them on the phone, ask a question, and they're happy to help, you know. And that's the way, like I said, if someone called me asking whether it was business, a dent problem or just a life situation, whatever, if they feel that I can help them or whatever, call me, reach out to me. I'd be happy to do that. Cause like I said, that's what these people did for me too. And I guess, yeah, it's just like, I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but it's like, it's almost overwhelming with how much good there is and what can be done with just a group of people, helping each other out.
And it wasn't like that. When I started, I didn't have that. We didn't have this.
True.
It was very secret and hidden and, off to the side. Now that you have all these support things and videos and everybody's putting information out and giving tech tips or, hey, Manny, what do you think about this? Or I'll call Manny at, 8:00 at night, Maryland time. He's like, what are you doing? And I just look at him. He's like, you're working on another roof. I'm like, yeah, because I do a lot of roofs. And, but we are lucky that we have the network of people. And it's just a different group of guys. Like a friend of mine came with me to MTE in Vegas. And he's not in the dent world. And he's like, how can you guys just talk about dents like for 24 hours straight? He's like, I just don't understand it. I'm like, you're never going to understand it. It's just the way our industry is. But one thing that I think that helped you were those events. Yeah. It's kind of like a ladder. You got your start, ring number 2. Then you went to a tech meetup, ring number 3. Then you went to the MTE, and then you went to the MME, and you kept stepping, and even though you were getting knocked down in between, that step just pushed you just a little bit.
That's 100% right, man. And I couldn't agree more. That's exactly the way I feel like, and that's why I think for anybody, if you can go to a tech meetup anywhere, whether it's close to home or all the way across the country or whatever, go to it, go to MTE, go to the Anson open house, go wherever there's something going on. I feel like there's always something going on. Go to as much as you can, because every time I've gone, there's always the good people that I've already met, and then I meet new people, and it just like it keeps getting better and better and better. And I can sit down and talk to someone. Like I went to Gene's out in Pittsburgh last October. He had a meetup or whatever going on, and so went out there and just sitting there talking, and I that's where I met like Ryan Campbell, and me and him talked forever, and it was like we've been friends for 15 years. It's just the fact that you can do that with pretty much anybody in this industry. It's awesome.
Yeah. Now, what kind of tools do you use, Rick?
So obviously, mostly what I do is going to be like just the regular dents and door dings, that kind of stuff. This year and the last year I was blessed with a decent amount of hail, nothing huge or crazy, but yeah. So the hail thing was new to me, I guess. Yeah. But so if I'm doing my normal deal where I'm door dinging, it's pretty much, I'd say 90% Dent Reaper tools. I'd say almost every vehicle I work on, I'm using, whether it's the Angel or the original Reaper, I guess mainly those on that kind of stuff. And then, with hail, it's pretty much Excalibur tools. And, obviously those kind of go back and forth in some of that work, but, and I have, obviously some different, double bend or single bend soft tip or interchangeable tip tools. But yeah, for the most part, if my tool bag's coming with me, it's full with Dent Reaper tools and Excalibur.
Nice.
Good picks.
Yeah, it's
good picks.
Yep. I don't know. It just, and I love sharp tools. Like for me, I just, that's where it's at. Like, obviously not
Right.
every dent you can do with that, but if I can start with a sharp tip or just anytime I can work with a sharp tip, I love it. So like the Dent Reaper tools are huge for me on that. And obviously Excalibur tool. I mean, I don't think you can find a sharper tip.
What kind of glue?
Over the years, I've tried different things, and obviously trying to figure out even how to glue pull and stuff from the beginning. And I thought it was glues or whatever. But I've narrowed it down now to, for my area, I use the cactus green a ton. Love that stuff. It's like I use it all the time for probably the majority of what I'm doing, especially like good wet pulls or a soft pull. And then and I have another gun that's set up and that has the Dent Reaper purple in it. And I'm, if I'm working on aluminum body line, something crazy, that's what I'm using, that I go to that. But otherwise, the cactus green is like, I don't know if it's just the atmosphere here or whatever. I just feel like that glue, I know that glue, I know how it works, and I'm comfortable with it. It does what I need it to do.
Have you ever tried the pink glue?
It's
yeah, that's what I first got, like in my original kit. I didn't even.
It's not worth it.
You
can't even fix dents with pink glue.
Dude, I'm like,
yeah.
Well, especially with what I don't even think I was taught glue pulling at originally, but I got a little glue gun and this pink glue stick, and I'm like, all right, let's give this a shot, throw that in there. And dude, I didn't even know about cleaning the car with alcohol or like having to heat it up. I'm like, this shit doesn't even work, so
I was gonna say it's been cold out here in California lately. It's been like,
I don't want to hear about cold.
What's cold, like Manny?
50 degrees today.
Ooh, it's cold. It's cold.
It was negative 11 here this morning.
Oh wow! I was gonna say this is the closest I'm gonna get to you guys' weather. So I think I might just put that cactus green to work.
So,
dude, I'm serious. That stuff's awesome.
It is also. I've been trying to tell him. I've been trying to bring him to the dark side, but he just likes that pink glue that doesn't pull dents. I see him working really hard. If you look at his pictures online or his videos, there's 3,000 pieces of glue on the floor. That's because he has to pull it so many times.
I could agree with that, man. I've never had great luck with that stuff. If you can do it, power to you, man.
He just likes to practice.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
So if you had one positive thing to tell a new tech that would help them, what would that be?
I don't know. I think Rick has more than one.
It'd be tough. I guess it'd be like what road they're looking for that tip on, whether it's life, business, fixing a certain dent.
On the PDR end, on the PDR end. If you got a new tech that's out there struggling, what's a tip you think that they would take as a value?
Be a part of absolutely everything you can. Like any event going on, it was earlier this year. I actually went down to Don Kavanaugh's, and I told him, I was talking to him for years. I'm like, I want you to train me some more, Don. Like, I don't think you can ever get enough training, but I went down to Don's for like 2 days, and I had him show me some stuff with some stand liner tools because I haven't had any, and I didn't buy any because I thought it was all certain techniques and this and that. So he showed me some stuff with the stand liner tools, which was really cool. But to me, go to like I said before, the tech meetups, the MTE is an absolute must. And I don't think you can get enough training. I really don't. Like, go train with whoever you want to, but there's no saying that a year later or 2 years later you can't go train with someone else, and then just working around other people. Like I said, working with Q, working this year with like Cliff and Dwayne. man, like you can learn so much just from being around other guys working and just simply asking questions. But
Yeah.
I would say just being involved, be
Yeah.
a part of everything you possibly can be. That will
Yeah.
get you to where you need to be.
Yeah. It's like get involved with everything that the industry has to offer.
Yep.
Right.
And I think other than, I don't know about you guys, but like I can't make it to everything. It seems like John can somehow make it to every event possible, which
John is a
I'm
huge
jealous of.
supporter. He
He
does.
is. He's
He does a
amazing.
good
I
job.
think it's great. But yeah, he makes everything. I don't know how he does it, but good for him. And I hope I can make more along the way too. That's a huge goal of mine, is to just try to be a part of every event that I can.
Definitely.
I was gonna ask, what's your baby girl's name?
Kinsley Rose.
Okay.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
cute.
and she just turned 2 a month ago.
Nice.
Wow.
So, yeah, so it's been pretty busy and it's getting fun. Right now she's a daddy's girl, so
That's a
I'm
beautiful
loving that.
age, man.
Yeah, so much fun. But yeah, so it's that part's super cool, and I don't know, the family thing's great, life is good, and business is good, and
I think that throughout this journey, mentally I could sense that you're on a whole different level now, because
yeah, 100%.
you've learned so much, and you've learned how to mentally push yourself through after going through all those struggles. So like, any encouragement on the mental side to like help you through the struggles?
Yeah, there again, the support teams behind you, but for me, like I said, the railroad, the people at the railroad, it was a toxic environment, super negative all the time. You have to get out of that. Like if you have that kind of negativity in your life at any point, even if it's for a few hours, but it's every day, you got to cut that out of your life. You got to get it gone. Like get rid of the negative people in your life. Surround yourself with good, positive people. And everybody has different stuff. Some people, read books or whatever. My other thing was like, especially after I got sick, was going to the gym every day. It gave me a purpose. It gave me, made me healthier, and just kind of gave me a time to sit and think while I was doing that, like what I need to do next. And with doing that, it's like you're pushing your body at that time. You can, figure out how to push your mind the next step, and just kind of keep moving forward that way.
Is your eating habits completely different now too, or?
So for the first year after I was sick, like I was on key. Like I seen multiple nutritionists, went to certain I met with certain people that have dealt with this same disease or whatever for some time. I sat and talked with them, asked how they've dealt with it, what they're doing. And so for a long time it was like I ate very clean, like nothing processed, no sugar, basically no alcohol, a lot of stuff. And I was terrified to even, like, if there was a piece of cake or something, like in front of me, which beforehand I'd be like, yeah, no problem, whatever, I'll eat that. Terrified. Like it scared me to even see that sitting there. I'm like, if I eat that, I'm going to be right back in the hospital. Same thing, like alcohol, whatever. And then I finally got to a point where I slowly just kind of introduced some things here and there, figured out what worked for me, what made me feel like crap. And so now I have a pretty good foundation, and sometimes, I can push it a little bit, and I know my boundaries, but it took probably a couple of years to really understand, like, this doesn't work. I can't, put my hands on that anymore. And other, it was an interesting process, but it was like, it definitely teaches you a lot about life, I think, like just.
And that's all I was thinking right now. I'm like, man, just like it's crazy to look at the timing that out of your everything that you went through, because not unless you would have, had gone through that and changed all of that, like, I mean, you just never know, right? But it's just like now you could be the father that you're meant to be because of all those changes. Now you could be the husband that you're meant to be because of all those situations. And now it's like you could be the businessman that you're meant to be because of what you've learned.
Seriously, like you're 100% correct. Like it literally like stripped me down to nothing, and it built me up to be like the best husband I can be. Well, at least I hope I am. The best dad I can be, the best business owner I can be. Like that's the things I strive for. Like that's, my family always comes first, my daughter and my wife, being there for them for anything and everything. And then making sure, like, we get up, I'm up early. I'm usually up by like 5 a.m. and it's go time. We eat breakfast together and then it's business. Like
that's awesome,
so it strengthened me, it strengthened my body, my mind, and then just the will, the passion kind of thing. Like, I know where I was at one point, and like I'm never going back to that ever. Like there's nothing that's going to bring me back there.
And I mean it. I hope that people see this show and hear your story and know that if they're in a toxic situation, if they're in a situation or a place that they don't want to be, it's like they don't have to stay there. They don't have to be there.
No, you don't. Like I said, I felt like I was walking out of a life sentence, and for what reason? Why did I have to feel like that for 13 years? You don't have to be a part of that. Like 13 years, it was 13 years too many. I wish I would have found this sooner, and I wish, but things in life happen the way they happen, and it is what it is. But you just, like if you want out, start today. Like just make it happen. Whatever.
And take the steps. It doesn't happen overnight.
Do the steps, man. It has to be steps. And you might get knocked down a couple or the whole flight of stairs. You just start climbing again. If you want it, you can do it. That's what I've realized out of this.
I love that. If you want it, you could do it.
So Manny struggles with this every week. I usually do it in the beginning of the show, but I wanted to get it going. My kid pulls a joke every week for every show, and Manny struggles. So I want to get this one. She picked a pretty easy one. She made sure. She's like, I gotta find one Manny can get. So,
oh man,
what do you call a guy laying on your doorstep? So, what do you call a guy laying on your doorstep?
Ryan Shutt.
You ready? You're not going to get this, are you?
Matt. He said.
It is. That's it.
John Badine.
That was the answer. You can't see it. But it was a mat, like a doormat. James Bernard must be sleeping in bed just figuring it out.
Googled it.
So, that was awesome.
But Rick, I was super excited to get you on, and I appreciate your story, kind of going through your struggles, and I think it'll be a good pickup for some of these guys that are struggling through their careers. I'm excited to have a beer with you at MTE. So,
dude, we'll have one for sure, probably more. But, but no, seriously, I really thank you guys for inviting me on. It was an absolute pleasure, and I'm completely grateful, and it was a lot of fun for me too to even to run through all that again. Like I haven't even thought about that in a long time, but to like kind of relive it that quick, and it was kind of fun to go through that process and really realize what's put me here. So
yeah, it's good
to go through that once in a while
for the season too, right?
Where can everybody find you?
So on Facebook, here we go with the technical stuff. I think on Facebook it's like Hammers Dent Repair or so. It should be. And then on Instagram it's at Hammers Dent Repair, I believe. HammersDentRepair.com. You know, like I said, reach out to me email wise or call me, text. I'm always happy to meet, talk to new people, or, you know, the same guys that, you know, like you guys, you know, it's just to have a conversation, whether it's once a week, once a month. You know, I think that's important too.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing your story, man.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for letting me, and hopefully I didn't ramble on too much, but
no, it
was perfect.
It's amazing. And I hope, you know, someone, you know, takes a sip of it and, you know, encourage their lives or something. And
yeah, I hope so. Yep.
We really appreciate, you know, having you in the industry.
I'm glad to be here, man. I'm super pumped to be here, and I just look forward to the, you know, every year forward from here and growing, and the industry itself, you know, growing too. It just, even from when I started to where we're at now with tools and the technology and like I said, the support lines and stuff, it's, man, we have something to be super grateful for. We have an amazing industry, and dude, we're like, this is just the scratch of it. Like, I think in the next 5 years, it's going to be like unstoppable. So
yeah, I could only imagine what the future has for you. So,
oh, dude, for all of us,
all of us. Yeah. Well, for Ryan, I don't know. I'm just kidding.
Man.
Rick, can't wait to see you at MTE, man. Thank you, everyone, for
6 weeks
for coming on, and we really appreciate you know, sharing your story. Thank you. Great testimony, guys. Like you said.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much, guys. Again, appreciate it, and hope you have a great night, and we will see you at MTE.
See you, Rick. Thank you.
All right. Have a good night.
See you.
That was a good one.
Man. Good one. You know, it's crazy because, you know, we heard it from Clint. We, you know, heard it from Q. Just like Rick, he's an awesome guy, you know, and it's just like, and hearing his story now is just like, yeah, absolutely. I love the man too.
Yeah. No,
you know,
it was good. It was refreshing. You know what I mean? It was a good story. I think some of these guys can relate, and I think some of these guys can. Manny's computer died, so it looks like I'm talking to myself, but it's all good. But anyway, I think some of these younger guys can relate to being knocked down and picked back up and knocked down. But I'm excited. I'm excited for MTE. We're about 6 weeks, a little over 6 weeks out. Manny's just playing games over there, just playing games.
Sorry, I was so excited about.
You know what it was? It's because you're not wearing your hat.
Yeah. See what it is? That's what happens.
Well, I had to mail you one because I just got a whole load of hats. So send me your address again with some. I'll send you some crappy pink glue I got over here too. So,
well, thank you everyone for coming on and join the show with us. Really appreciate
share
everyone.
If you can share, and don't forget, if you guys can,
support
gift cards and Christmas cards. Send them to Anson PDR.
We just heard a testimony of, you know, what it meant to have that support, you know. So, you know, if you guys can, definitely you know, support out Biggs.
$10 is all the, you know, I mean, that's all you need to do. It's not a whole lot. Throw it in an envelope, ship it to Anson for Biggs and Robert. Just get them out there. They're good guys, and you know, there'll be some news that I can't really bring up right now for next week. So with Christina coming on she's coming on for about 10 minutes. But you guys have a fantastic evening. Keep it real. 6 weeks, Manny.
Yeah. I'll see you there, buddy.
Yes, sir. I'll be there. I had Kevin Berg call me. He's like, "You're coming, right?" I said, "I swear I'm coming because I've got 2 hotel rooms and everybody's stuff. I'm shutting the shop down. We're coming." COVID, hurricane, whatever is going on, I'm coming.
Awesome.
So, you guys, great evening. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, everyone.
Keep it real, and we will talk to you later.
See you next week.
Bye-bye.
See you guys.
See ya. Thank you.